Are you trying to get your shift together?
Welcome to the Shift Sisters podcast, where real conversations inspire real transformations. We're not experts, but we're experiencers. I'm Sandra Sa.
And I'm Jennifer Richter.
We're your Shift Sisters.
Whether you're shifting like a sloth or it looks like you're having an exorcism, this is your space to breathe, reflect, and remember. We're here to talk shift with you. Welcome to the Shift Sisters podcast. I'm Jennifer Richter, and this is my soul sister, co-host, and shift poet, Sandra Sa.
Hi, everyone.
Oh gosh. Well, let's talk about what you can expect from the Shift Sisters podcast. We offer series-based deep dives where we're going to explore one big shift topic, but we'll do it over 4 or more episodes so you can truly unpack and integrate all the things into real life, like what even is a shift, right? So this whole series is when it all began to shift. So we talk about shift 101, the first cracks, the messy middle, and the gifts of the shift. Sandra, do you want to give a little sneak peek tidbit into family dynamics?
Sure. So we talk about family dynamics. It's obviously a really big topic and can also elicit lots of shifts. So we talk about things like birth order. We talk about just how do we interact with family and how that can affect us, where we came from. So how was, your childhood years, your early childhood years affecting you and the roles that you were given? So some of that we carry to present day, and we talk through how does birth order play in various aspects of my life, and how does where I lived and what I brought from that early experience with my family contribute to some of the actions as I am as a mother or in a career or with my husband. So it's definitely an exciting topic to dive into and really something that can make you reflect deeper into how you are interacting with your family.
And a sensitive one at that.
For sure. For sure.
We also talk about protecting your peace and what it looks like to audit your inner energy economy. What are those energy accounts? How do you audit them? How do you discern between a boundary and a barrier? How do you protect that peace? It's life-changing in my opinion. Sandra dives deep into the holiday shift support because as you heard her mention, things about grief and rest and renewing for yourself to be able to keep up with your busy life. And she brings all of that to us, which is totally useful tools to put in your toolbox. So what's the difference between a hard season and a soul shift? So a hard season is like people often refer to themselves as just having a hard time, but hard seasons affect your circumstances and shifts affect your identity. Would you think that's a good explanation of it?
Absolutely. Something that I do want to talk about is there are people that have victim mentality, where
Yes, ma'am.
there is negativity all around them, not realizing that they are attracting that by the energy that they're giving out. And when you have those hard moments, those are not shifts. Those are just the energy that you're producing, and you're getting it mirrored back to you.
Do you feel though that like even when you did change, there's people that refused to see the new you?
Girl, there are people that still call me like my nickname from high school today. And I'm just like, girl, I have so many different computations of myself. Like that person is like 5 drafts back, 15 drafts back. And you're still equating me with the girl that used to go out to the clubs and all that. Like, that was a fun part of my life, but holy, that is just so far from who I am today. And I think people are stuck in that. And it,
Yeah, I was going to say, I find the people that refuse to see your evolution are the ones that refuse to evolve on their own. Like,
yes.
they don't do any changes. Everything has to be the same for their entire life. And so they see you in that one mindset and they don't take everything into consideration and they don't see the growth, because if they notice the growth in you, that means they're going to notice the lack of growth within themselves. Episodes will drop weekly on Shift Sister Sunday because we do believe in starting your week with insight, laughter, and a plan for your personal evolution. And I have to throw that in there, a plan, because that's totally Sandra's thing. She's going to look the night before and she's, what's the plan for tomorrow? What are we doing? And I'm all relaxing in the evening, not even thinking about tomorrow until the morning. And so she has really shown me that that is a piece of protecting your peace, and to prepare instead of be reactive, we're going to be proactive. A lot of lessons I'm still, learning from it. And I'm just open to the lessons. I'm not closed off. I don't, live in hatred, and I'm not sour about the way I grew up. Like, those were the cards that I was dealt, but it doesn't mean I need to play the same game. I can make up a whole new game with that deck of cards, and, just like with your marble in your can.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, it's, a lot of people would hold on to that, and it manifests in so many ways. So for you to let that go is just such a huge step in your healing journey, because as I said, people, they hold on to things for years and years and years, and it just calcifies. And the fact that you're using it as learning is powerful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd have to say, the current self of me would have to thank that past self for at least being open, even in those moments, to seeing that there was a lesson instead of just closing down.
One of the elements of our podcast that we love to talk about are our shift whisperers, which is essentially our special guests that come on and share their unique perspective on a particular topic. So our guest experts can be therapists or healers or coaches, or just someone who has a perspective on this particular topic. And they drop some of their wisdom so that we can move from our aha moment to action. With the experience of our shift whisperers, we can have a fuller conversation with Jennifer and I, and also bring some resources to us. We are here to expand the circle and to also support. Our goal is to provide those shift whisperers to you as we go along on our journey of shifting.
I think when we hear grief, we think of a death, death of a partner, a parent, a child, a sibling, right? And we can be grieving all kinds of losses. And sometimes it takes layers. There's a big loss. We lose our job, we lose our house, we lose, there's something apparent, there's something big that happens. And then as we move through that process, like, oh, underneath that, I also had this that happened to me as a child, and I'm now remembering what happened when I was 12. And now, so then there's like parts of like childhood parts that come up, and different things that we maybe hadn't given our attention to that get revealed. But yeah, we can grieve all kinds of things. And, just like we can love, basically, I think of it this way. Grief is a love experience. So like, if we don't love something, we're not going to grieve it. Right. So if you have someone who didn't really care for their father and their father dies, there's not that big of a grief experience. There may be a grief experience around, now my father's died. He was never around. We didn't like each other. He didn't really support me. Wasn't the caregiver, whatever. But then I might then be grieving the love of the father that I never had. So then there's like, and I see this kind of as it's almost like a two-layered process, like the thing and then the shadow of the thing. It's like that we might grieve a person, and then what happens is then we grieve the person that they weren't, the relationship we didn't have, right?
Conversations with our grounded guides are a collection of gentlemen that we have come across in our experiences that are also not experts, but they are doing the shift work. They are curious and they are looking to build community and share their experiences too, because men, they carry a lot of stuff silently that we don't always see. So men from all walks of life sharing how they navigate these shifts, relationships, and self-discovery in their own words are featured here on the episode, and it will be just on whatever topic we're talking about. So like if we're talking about protect your peace, how do men do that? And what are they carrying silently?
Misconception wise, I think it would be that men like don't have emotions or don't experience them as deeply. I think there's just a societal element that, you know, we just rub dirt on it, kind of carry on. But a lot of that kind of suppression translates into like anger, resentment, whatever it may be. I would say overall, like we probably all experience emotions similarly, regardless man, woman. But I would say on the man side of things, at least, we probably have less tools to like process it. Because as Patrick touched on earlier, it's like pretty uncommon for guys to just hang out and be like talking about what we're struggling with, because there's this perception that you could be maybe saw as like weak or unable to handle the stuff that you have going on in your life, where it's super common for two women to just chat about like whatever's going on deeply. And I think that has an element to do with why women maybe are a little bit more emotionally mature as well.
Can I ask a question real quick? I want to preface and give context to why I'm asking it first, because one of the things that's been coming up for me in this conversation is, you know, I've wanted to do men's groups before with this idea of like, let's open up, let's have some fun, but let's also have deeper conversations. And one of the things, this may be just me, but my guess is some of the reason these groups or these conversations aren't had more is we as men don't know how to go about that. And there's definitely a line of like, yeah, like none of us want to go and like it turn into this like
plain fest.
That's more so it. Like we're not gonna like go and it's this complain fest and kind of bitching and like I'm like, if you gotta cry, let's cry. But like, let's not like, it doesn't have to be this, let's get together and let's all cry and open up. And like, so it's like, so my question is, how did that guy go about setting up that men's group and communicating that with you guys in a way that brought 30 men there?
Next is our episode toolkits. So these are printable guides for each of our episodes with journal prompts and exercises and resources so that you can continue to do the shift work along with us. So during each episode, you would hear about shift activations. And those activations are invitations for you to explore in a different way on your own some of the topics we discussed. So some of it will be journal prompts. Some of it may be creative expression. Some of it may be through music and moving your body. And our goal with this is to give you just additional things throughout your week that you can do and reflect on and really support you through your shifting journey. And we welcome you to share that with us. So if you feel like, oh, I really would love this to be witnessed, share it with us. We want to hear it. We want to see it. So our toolkits are really there as a roadmap to help you throughout the week and throughout the time as you're shifting. And you may not be now, you may print them out and use them a little bit later when you need them. But the activations and the toolkit is really there to support you beyond the podcast episode. Just a way to process what is the inevitable, right?
That's true.
It's going to come. So one of my invitations is to journal about the departure of this child and how you think it would impact the home. So listen to this next question. So how does the departure open up space and how does it leave a void? So it's the same concept, right? So opening up space is a more kind of a positive kind of spin on it. And then in the void, right? So the places that you're going to miss the child or feel like there's an emptiness there. So those are the two kind of aspects to look at. And since this is an important rite and passage for the child, what kind of ritual can you create to really bless him on his journey? So,
Damn, girl.
another way that I absolutely love to help support others is reading in community.
Mm.
Reading in community, I feel like, is such a powerful tool in looking at literature to help us as another tool in our toolbox. So, in January of 2026, we are really pleased to announce that we're going to have a book club called Bound to Shift Book Club. We are going to read transformative books together, books that have really deep and profound lessons, or books that help transform us during our shifting journey.
Mm-hmm.
This will give us an opportunity to exchange with our listeners in a very different way. So stay tuned. We're going to provide more information about our book club. We're going to have various resources because reading and books truly just can help support our journey together. Another way that we bring special resources to our listeners is through Shift Sips, our soaks, and our scents that shift us. So there's going to be recipes. You're going to see lots of recipes. So with our sips, we try to bring in some elements of fun, of creativity, and of health when we look at some of the things that we are drinking, and we do it in a celebratory way. We also have our soaks. So when you think about, when you take our shifter quiz, who are you in that spectrum of shifter? And we provide a soak for you, or we provide a soak for different times where you need that extra support. And I'm a big bath girl. I know that Jennifer is a big bath person as well.
I
Both
like
soaks.
big tubs and I cannot lie. Sorry.
That's right, girl. You have to do what works for you. And having that 20-minute soak with that Epsom salts and that infusion of oil or herb, I truly will it transforms me. So hoping that those recipes will help transform you as well. And then the scents that shift us, Jennifer does a wonderful job in pairing our oils, different oils, to help support, be it the topic that we're learning about. Maybe it's in relation to your shift forecast where you're feeling a little bit down or need a little extra support. So scents also is another way to help us throughout our shifts and to really help us just navigate the world as we are needing that extra support. So sips, soaks, and scents. Those are the three S's.
When you said that, I thought, ooh, I'm like a sommelier
Yes,
of oils and our things.
absolutely. You need like the little towel and just like, here's the little oil.
Everybody sniff. What notes are you picking up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really true. And I think I haven't used essential oils in the extent that you have, and I'm just learning so much, not realizing that I could use this when I'm having those like low energy days or those really anxious days. So it really has been such a wonderful support for myself.
What are you sipping on today?
I made a drink to help me. So I've been having some like health issues, and I'm kind of dealing with some blood pressure, like in there are inconsistencies. Like sometimes it's really high, sometimes it's lower than it should be. So I bought this big old bag of beetroot, and I said, what am I going to do with this beetroot powder? And it's organic and beautiful. So I made today a pomegranate beetroot spritzer.
I need to see this because I bought beetroot powder like a month ago, but not for this reason.
Girl, I did not come prepared because I have it in one of these.
Okay, that's okay. I'll use my imagination.
I'm going to take pictures. Don't worry. But I will post those. But it's a beautiful, like ruby color. It's pomegranate, 100%, pomegranate juice, like a little bit of lime and some beetroot and some seltzer water, some sparkling water. And it's refreshing. And people tend to think like, oh, beetroot, it's going to taste so earthy. It doesn't. It's light and refreshing. Like I feel like this is going to be a summer drink for me. And it also has its health benefits. So that is
And it blended up okay, the beetroot powder and everything?
Yes. It's not grainy or gritty at all. So I don't know if, and I didn't put,
Mm.
so maybe about a cup's worth of the pomegranate juice and the rest was the seltzer. So it's really, it's really got
Hmm.
the light.
I'm gonna have to. Did you say you sweeten? Oh no, the pomegranate juice itself is sweetened. So
Yes.
okay, yeah. So I had bought the beetroot powder because when I went to that retreat, they did these fantastic lion's mane steaks, and it looked exactly and tasted like a steak and the texture and stuff. And they did this like beetroot reduction that was with the powder. And, I make a no-mato sauce, which is for people that are like, it's called an AIP diet, autoimmune
Mhm.
diet or whatever, and they can't have like certain nightshades and acidity type things, or I don't know the exact situation because I don't have AIP, but I would make a non-tomato style sauce for them and I would use beets. So
Oh,
then I started thinking, I wonder if I could use the powder too, because it does have a different taste. It's less earthy, in my opinion.
yeah.
I don't feel like it tastes earthy at all.
No, and I'm a matcha lover, and I love matcha because it tastes like dirt.
Dirt.
I know it's totally weird, but I love
The
that
nutrition
earthy. I
deficiency would
know.
need it. Yes.
I got to go into that. But this stuff, I was just like, this is really good. And in one of my future signature sips, I have like warm beet drinks that I've already tried that I'm going to share. I mean, I know
Wow.
it sounds off,
I want
but
to try the weird shit.
I tried them and they're so good. So I have to say,
Mm.
we talked
I'm
about creativity, and I love
yes.
being creative with our signature ships.
Mm.
Every time we get together, we need to check in just to see, where is your internal weather report? What's going on for you? Is it stormy? Is it calm? Is it hazy, hot, and humid? It just depends. And we want you to come to the circle to get a sense of, what are you bringing to the conversation, as opposed to, I'm fine, I'm okay, or just being. The goal with our shift forecast is our weather report to give more color to the internal kind of temperature of what's going on. Download our shift forecast from our website. You could use that on your day to day. You can
Mhm.
really stop and say, how am I truly feeling at this time? Because it's not just one word.
Yeah.
It could be a variety of things. And also, as the weather, that changes. So you might need to do multiple check-ins in your day and see what that looks like, because that can also pull from your energy reserves. So making sure that you know kind of where you are really helps in terms of looking at what supports will I need. Because if you're in that hazy place, you might need some lemon essential oil to kind of spruce you up. So thinking about where you are is really important. My emotional weather report is breezy and detached.
Ooh,
Now,
tell us more about that.
let me tell you, girl. So I can relate to some of it. So it's essentially breezy and detached. It's going with the flow. Maybe there's just too much going on, and then also feeling checked out. Now, with some of this, I am totally going with the flow. I am living my life and I'm working and I'm doing the podcast and I'm doing all the things around my family. But girl, it feels like too much sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And I want to fully engage, but I don't have the bandwidth, the energy, or the emotional currency sometimes to handle it all at once, because each one of those things are its own like beast.
Wisdom moments are hidden little gems, and a lot of them are actually so simple yet profound, but they are often inspired by the youth in our life. For example, you'll hear us talking about what matters and boundaries, not barriers. That is not something that is coming directly from us. It is coming through us through the experiences that we've had with children that
Yes.
have brought these things to our attention and have really been like showstoppers and making us think.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about these boundaries. What are they, anyways? We'll have to get into the basics here. Picture for just a moment your emotional space is like a house, and a boundary is your front door. You decide if you answer it and who you allow to come in and when. But a barrier would be a brick wall. Nobody's getting in, not even the good stuff. So boundaries protect our peace while keeping us open to connection. And barriers, though, often come through being hurt, feeling misunderstood, or plain drained, kind of like how we were talking about not budgeting our emotional currency, and we're in that deficit, right? We're bankrupt. And it's because we didn't have those boundaries. So saying yes when you really want to say no, that is a missing boundary.
We are coming to you with messy and magical stories. It's not this, clean, packaged gift that we're giving to you. It's going to come with vulnerability and authenticity and with fun and with laughter and with tears.
Mhm.
So our goal is to show the stories, even in chaos, that there is beauty and growing unfolding. Sometimes it could be a little scary and disorganized. I know I don't like that disorganization. I want to be in control. But the goal is to share these wonderful stories so that we can connect with one another and also know you are not doing this alone.
Remember, the soul whispers before it screams, just like your mom. You know your mama told you something 3 times with love and kindness and calmness, and y'all were taking advantage of it, and then she's screaming her full head off, ready to tie you up like a hog.
Mhm.
And she told you first. Y'all
Yeah.
didn't listen. And the soul is the same way. It's giving you these small little nudges and signs and cues, and we're blowing them off and we're not listening to them. And then when it becomes a big issue, then we really are forced to face it. So we're going to work through these first cracks through our 5 soul stages of the shift that we talked about, which the first one, if you remember, is the nudge. There is a dress code here on the podcast that everybody must show up with, and it's authenticity. That is the only dress code you need to show up with. Your shift sweats or your sparkly shoes, dollar store to Gucci energy, all are welcome here, girl.
I love that. Oh. What I'm hoping that we can really accomplish today is just building that portfolio so that you can take on your week and your day, and then you can always be in the green, right? Like, there's so much that takes from us. And then in this episode, I want to talk about, how do we feel again? How do we get that capital back into our accounts?
What keeps popping into my head is, you know how I'm sure everybody's heard the term at some point, vote with your dollars. And
Yes.
so if there was something that, if you wanted to boycott a company because you didn't believe in what they were doing or whatever the situation is, they always say vote with your dollars, right? And I keep hearing that right now, which tells me you have to vote, right, for what you want and boycott what you want by where you choose to spend your physical, emotional, and mental finances, in a sense,
Absolutely.
or budget,
Absolutely.
whatever you want to call it.
And I just feel like, maybe some of the heaviness that I said earlier in my check-in is just a mismatch of my energy to what needs to be spent on right now.
Yeah, you're like spending at the dollar store expecting Gucci, girl. What you talking about?
Girl, no 2-for-1s over here.
Belly laughs, as you can tell, is one of my favorite medicines. And it is where personal growth kind of overtakes serious work. We are doing serious work here, but I refuse to do it without joy.
Nope.
Sandra brings in the color and the personality, and there's just so much to be had with the joy in the journey and the messiness, and laughing is my favorite medicine.
It's like Plato's cave, like you're in a cave and you see these shadows on the wall and you think you start putting names to the shadows. And then a philosopher comes down, picks you up and takes you out to the sun, and you see the actual items and you see the sun and the grass and the colors and all of that. And you can never go back in the cave. You can never, and you've lived your life, right? You see these shadows and you give them names and you say, this is what it is. And when you're given the truth, it's blinding, it's overwhelming, but it's like, I can go back to that.
Girl, your analogy is a lot better than mine. I'm like, oh, it's like the guy at the nightclub and they turn on the lights and then you see who you were dancing with the rest of the night, the whole night, and you're like, oh shit, son, I'm out of here. Never mind. I can't go back.
That's why I love you. Recipes, rituals, and real talk. So we provide practical tools to protect your peace, budget your energy, and align with what really matters. And our hope is that these are going to be real life supports that you can take on your day to day so that you can make sure that you're in a good space energetically and that you have all the supports that you need, not only in your quiet moments, but throughout your day as well, because we want you to be centered and ready to take on that next shift.
The inner economy is how you manage your emotional currency, your energy, your time, attention, and your feelings. So just like money, there are resources, but they're finite. Every thought, conversation, or worry has a cost, like we talked about. And, we're not a walking ATM, but essentially we're acting like it, and everybody's taking a withdrawal, and we need to stop giving out the PIN number.
Yes,
You don't
girl.
get the code.
Preach.
Emotional currency, it's one of those things that, like, I don't want to say you can't get it back, but it's not as easily replenishable.
Mm-hmm. We are a resource rich community. So, with opportunities to share your own shifts, to join the conversation, and to be a part of something bigger than yourself. There are so many places that we just feel like we are not able to express ourselves. So obviously at work, within your family dynamics, and this is a place where you can sit. No one else is going to read this. No one else needs to even know that it exists. And your full truth is what's between you and that paper. So letting go of all of the things that are knots in your stomach or knots in your shoulders, letting go of the things that are trapped in your throat that you can't release and it like tightens your tongue, letting go of the tears that you are holding back is the purpose of this journal. So that's act of self-expression, fully, truly, completely. That is the one thing that I encourage and I really urge anyone who is journaling, is that there should be no barriers at all. You should be able to be 100% free because it is yours and no one is going to take that away from you.
I love to incorporate the metaphysical into our practical everyday life, from like moon cycles to mindset hacks, and things can work with our direction. And so you kind of get the best of both worlds of that here. I'm always learning and growing, and I learn in very different ways from other people. And so if I'm deep diving into astrology and I'm learning all about the aspects of the planets, then and I end up seeing how they're more like personalities and relationship dynamics, because there's like, I think, four different aspects. And, I think about it and then I translate it into a relatable way. I like how I can have the space to incorporate some metaphysical stuff. And essential oils are one of those metaphysical features that I bring here on a regular basis.
So let's talk essential oils and how that can support us during this holiday
The
season.
scents that shift us, right? So, when I think of, already I'm a little frazzled on the inside when I'm thinking about the history of my holidays of trauma and toxicity. It literally makes my heart race just thinking about it. And so for me, what my body would naturally ask for would be a boundary, an energetic boundary or protection or barrier to keep me from that, because I don't have the tools yet, right? Or I don't feel like I have the tools to equip me to protect me. So we're going to use Melaleuca, which is also known as tea tree oil. And it's the oil of energetic boundaries. And to me, it smells very like cleaning products. I don't know. It's not awesome for me, but some people love it. Well, here's the first word, disinfectant. So, that tells you. So, disinfectant by nature, Melaleuca, also known as tea tree oil, clears negative energetic baggage. It specifically releases codependent and parasitic relationships, These toxic relationships may be with people, microorganisms in the physical body, or spiritual beings. The individual may feel drained of life, focus, and energy, but they may not be consciously aware of the source of the energy leakage. Melaleuca helps break the negative ties in these kind of relationships so the new, healthy connections may be formed that honor one's personal space and boundaries. Melaleuca encourages an individual to relinquish all forms of self-betrayal, including allowing others to take advantage of one's time, energy, and talents, letting others feed on one's energy, not standing up for oneself, or feeling responsible for the problems of others. Melaleuca assists individuals in purification practices and in releasing toxic debris. Wow.
Wow.
I might wear this stinky oil a little bit more often. Put it on your feet, I guess, so no, you don't have to smell it.
Well, what a wonderful addition to the toolbox for the holidays. I never knew that. Thank you for bringing that to the conversation. And now I feel like, okay, where's my tea tree supplies?
Yeah, my first experience was really early on with tea tree was Adam, because he used to use it. When he was younger, he had acne a lot, so he would use that for acne, and I just thought it smelled like a disinfectant. So I was like, oh, that kind of stinks. Why are you wearing that? And he would, tell me and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm never using that. And now I'm all like, okay, it helps. Slather it on me.
They say like tea tree is good for like hair health. So
Yes.
there's a lot. So,
well, yeah, not even the medical properties, right? Like it repels lice and all sorts of crazy things.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to put it in the hair. I'm going to put it on the body. I'm going to do all the things. So
yes. Shifts worth celebrating. We hope you recognize your progress even in the tiniest steps forward. We celebrate with sips all the time because we feel like every day has little things to celebrate and that they should be highlighted a lot more frequently so that we can build our confidence, build our awareness of the efforts that we're putting in.
Yeah, my perspective, I guess, is a little different, but has some overlap. I think of forgiveness kind of as like an anchor that keeps you stuck. It's something that you are carrying potentially unnecessarily, whether it be about yourself or somebody else, that if you were to forgive, you would be lighter and be able to like kind of be unblocked and move forward. So like that tends to be what comes up for me. And through the lens of resolutions, like you could evaluate too, is that holding you back towards success, right? Like, are you doing a resolution for the right reason? Did somebody say something to you that, made you insecure, and then that's now why you've created a resolution around something? Whereas if you were to forgive that person, or maybe even forgive yourself for why you're not in that space yet, that may give you exactly the room to be able to go and start working on those things in a positive way that start achieving what you need to achieve. So
whether you ever thought about your life shifts and how you wish for community to do it with, or maybe you never even realized shifting was a thing and that life just happened to you, we're so glad that you're here to shift with us. So take a moment to check in with yourself and to see what's shifting with you right now. Mark your calendars for Shiftember 14th so you can be ready to shift with us.
If finding us today sparked curiosity, inspiration, or cracked open a storage unit of unsorted internal shifts, we want to hear about it. Tell us where you're shifting from. I'm shifting from Florida, and Sandra's shifting from Texas. Drop a comment below. Tell us where you're shifting from right now, and what did today spark for you? Now go sip something yummy, take a deep breath, and know that you have us to talk shift with.
And that's it for today's shift. Thank you so much for sharing this space with us. If you're loving the conversation, become a shifty. Like, follow, subscribe, and most of all, share this episode with someone who's shifting too, or someone who seriously needs to get their shift together.
Do you have thoughts, questions, topic requests, or maybe you're feeling the nudge to collaborate? Visit us at shiftsisterpodcast.com. We'd love to hear from you. We're so grateful for your presence, your friendship, and your willingness to do the work with us. Because shift happens and we're not meant to do it alone.
We'll meet you back here next time to breathe, reflect, and talk shift.